everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek.
the Humanist Trek Podcast.
And you're listening to Humanist Trek, a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
I know,
You should have told me to start recording.
Sorry, I should have started recording. I should have told you. I met this girl at ST Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And she was wearing one, and I'm like, this is the cutest thing. So we made friends, and I'm like, will you knit me one? So she knitted me a Klingon like beanie, but it's got hair.
That's so fucking amazing.
And it actually fits my head. So
Yes. Hell yeah, that is so awesome.
I will make sure I shout out to Kelly.
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Welcome aboard.
Jean-Luc Picard to the Starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
That is enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the Starship Enterprise.
You can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Nuchnech, in honor of Ali's new Scully. And welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ashmead.
Allie, I feel like we haven't talked in forever. What the hell's going on?
I had a little interesting happening this week.
Okay.
I never expected this, but I woke up one morning this week and was pissing blood.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if it's a kidney stone. I wondered. So I finished all my meetings and then I went to urgent care and then did the tests, and then they sent me for a CT scan. And it's sure enough, I have a kidney stone. Well, I have two actually.
Oh fuck.
So I have one in one side, one in the left side that's 5 millimeters, and then that's causing an obstruction.
Damn.
And one on the other side that's like 3 millimeters. It's not just that one's just chilling, just hanging out.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So weirdly enough, it wasn't causing a lot of pain. It was like I just woke up with a tummy ache. I was like, oh, I've got gas, no big deal. It was not like I've had one before and that shit hurt. This one, it didn't even hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So now I'm on this weird medication. So they give you this medication. I don't know if you've ever had kidney stones before.
Thankfully, no, I have not.
It's been 15 years since I had one. And then when I had it, I didn't know I had it until it passed. And it passed all by itself and it hurt and it was gone. But they give you this medication. It's originally for men with prostate issues.
Mm-hmm.
But they give it to you to, relax all the stuff down there so that the rocks can pass.
Wow.
But the side effect is that it may cause a prolonged erection. I'm like, so I was like, okay, I was telling my friends, I'm taking this medication. Check on me in 4 hours to make sure I don't have an erection. But
if your swollen clitoris lasts more than 4 hours, seek medical attention.
Exactly. Oh no, I know this is like TMI, but yeah, that's what happened to me this week. And then of course this medication made me so fucking sleepy because it lowers your blood pressure. So my sleep schedule's been all out of whack.
Damn.
Yeah, good times. I was like, guess what I'm getting for Christmas? A kidney stone.
Well, you survived.
I did survive.
So far, I guess.
So far,
right?
I've got to take this shit for 2 weeks, but yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, let's survive a Husnak attack this week on Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 3, The Survivors.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? Is that something, sir?
Intruder alert, sir.
It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse comm.
Number one, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number one, keep them out of my way.
This week, we're responding to a distress call in the Delta Rana star system. The message was garbled, recorded on an old R2 droid, and it just said, "Help us, Jean-Luc Picard, you're our only hope." This colony was attacked by an unidentified spacecraft, so we don't really know what we're flying into here.
They have their shields up. Sensors aren't picking up any sort of space vehicles, but Picard's thinking maybe they're cloaked. They're also not receiving Rana's 4's call sign. So they open a frequency and they get no response. And there's supposed to be 11,000 people in this colony, but Troy's not sensing anybody. Although her senses are hit and miss.
Yeah, it depends on what the script needs.
I
know. So then they put the planet up on screen, and the whole planet is just trashed. Data scans indicate no bodies of water, no vegetation, no artificial structures. And then suddenly, Wesley picks something up. Structure, and Worf pings 2 life forms, possibly human, and when they zoom in on these coordinates, it looks like a perfect square of like a grassy farmland with some kind of building on it.
Green, like, yeah. Out of the middle of all the devastation.
With a building on it of some kind, and this made me think of a conversation that my 10-year-old and I have been having recently. Why is it called a building after it's built?
Oh.
Why don't we call it a built?
That's a good point.
I swear I'm not letting her get into the gummies. But it was that one, and there was another one. I can't remember what it was, though, that she...
That's a good point.
Asked. Yeah.
So did this devastation just happen, or did it happen a long time ago, and then they just got a delayed signal?
Oh, it seems like it's recent. It's all fresh.
I mean, that was really quick for him. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe I should save this for the end, but I'm just thinking, wow, they sure set that up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay.
Beverly suggests an illusion. Let's listen to the good doctor. But Data confirms what we're seeing here is real. So Riker's going to take a team down to knock on the door and see who's home.
An entire planet obliterated, except for a few acres of trees and grass and one building.
It must be some kind of illusion.
Attention Starfleet personnel. Are you tired of endless duty rosters and warp core recalibrations? Introducing Buffer Time, the card game. The only recreational training simulation that teaches you how to manage your work schedule like a true lower decker. Bluff your way past maintenance tasks, dodge unexpected red alerts, and sabotage your friends, colleagues, while keeping that sweet, sweet buffer time for yourself.
Okay, computer, margaritas, frozen, salt.
Visit humanisttrek.com/Modiphius and use code TREK for 10% off. Remember, Starfleet Command neither confirms or denies the existence of buffer time. Simulation not recognized as an official Starfleet training program. Card shuffling speed may vary by species.
Aw, Tendy, look at us. Lower decks, breaching protocol together. Friendship.
Picard, Troy, and Dr. Crusher discuss this week's mystery as they head toward the transporter room. Crusher is expecting them to be in very bad health, whoever is here, considering they're the sole survivors of an attack that Borg wiped the whole planet. Again, here we go. This is another thing like we saw the Borg, like, just stripping planets bare.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even suggest, oh shit, maybe this was a Borg attack.
Yeah.
And Troy can sense now these people on the planet, and she can sense that they are human, but something is off about them, and she just can't put her spidey senses on it.
Of course
Classic
not.
Troy.
Of course not.
Yeah.
So it's Riker and Crusher that's going down with LaForge, Data, and Worf.
And they beam down outside this house in Beverly Hills or whatever, and everybody reports in. Data can't offer any guesses as to why this particular area remained untouched by the attack. Geordi Vision doesn't detect anything unusual with the house itself, and Worf pinpoints 2 life signs inside on the tricorder. They're at opposite ends of the house, and there's only a non-functioning low-yield heater inside the house, so no weapons to worry about. But could you imagine if ICE or the local police department had a technology like this? They could just scan inside your house and see, oh, there's 3 Mexicans in the north end of the house. This is not a technology that we deserve today, for damn sure.
No, definitely not. It's an invasion of privacy. And if we had it, there would be really hard. It would be impossible to police it unless we had like something in the home to block certain scanner frequencies or whatever. So we would, if they had something, then civilians would need something to block it. And it's a good thing we don't. Because they would surely use it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that we've evolved in the Star Trek timeline to this not being a concern because, we don't do shit like that anymore.
I think we'll probably get there just because of the advancements that we're gonna get is for something like that. So that
for sure.
So that police can destroy our rights or infringe upon our rights.
Because we're making advancements not for the social good.
No.
We're making advancements for the corporate fourth quarter earnings.
Corporate, military, and the best way to get buy-in from the government is, hey, how can you fuck the people over? You can use this and in the guise of safety.
Yeah.
You
right.
know? So
yeah, they'd sell this at oh, this would be an amazing technology for firefighters to show up at your house and your house is burning down and they can just go and know exactly where all the people are that they need to go in and save. Yes, it would be, but also
they could take them out too.
Yeah.
It's sad that we have to think that way and we don't trust them. But
anyway,
yeah.
Riker's like, well, nothing to worry about here. Let's just go knock on the door. But as he walks towards the house, and I forgot that it was him. I thought it was
gonna
Worf.
say you thought it was Worf. I was like, wait. The whole time I'm like, isn't Worf supposed to be hanging upside down? Nope. It's Riker.
Yeah. Geordi tries to warn him, but it's too late. He trips a booby trap and a pole shoots out of the ground, and Riker is yoinked up like a pair of underwear on Salute Your Shorts. Do you remember Salute Your Shorts? This was way after your time.
No.
Yeah, it's an old Nickelodeon show about summer camp.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think I
it's really
watched
good.
too much Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that was my jam. That was my growing up era.
Here comes the owners of the house, an elderly man named Kevin. He says, "What are you doing here? It's
Get
private."
off my lawn.
Yeah, I know, and but you're living in the middle of freaking apocalypse. And of course, Riker's hanging upside down, and he introduces himself, and he asks him, "Can I come down?" And Worf wants to know if he should just take him out. And Riker's like, "No, we're a rescue party." He's telling him that the reason they're there is they picked up a distress call. And that's when the owner's wife comes out. She's also an elderly woman. And she's yelling at her husband to let them go because they're there to help them.
This is a classic old couple relationship, right? He's the get off my lawn. I don't want to see nobody. I want to talk to nobody. And she's like, will you shut up and just let these people, these are
nice people. These are nice people. Let them go. Yeah, it's cute.
He tries to shuffle her back into the house, but she is so thrilled to see anyone alive because it's been days since they'd heard from anybody else. They thought maybe the whole Federation had been attacked. And of course, the silence tells her that there are no other survivors here. They say they never saw their attackers, but they came in a massive spaceship that you could see in orbit from the ground. Bev is taking some medical scans and asks their names for the record. This is, of course, Kevin and Rishon Uxbridge, played by John Anderson and Anne Haney. John was in Psycho, a bunch of Westerns, and I read that he played Abraham Lincoln in a couple of projects because of his likeness to the president. Anne played in Liar Liar, Mrs. Doubtfire, and loads of appearances all over television. And we'll get to see her again in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
On hearing their names, Data's Encyclopedia Britannica entry lists them as botanists, and he rattles off their last few addresses and some fun facts about them. Rishon is 82 years of age and a composer of Tao classical music. Kevin, 85, and a specialist in symbiotic plant life. Married 53 years.
Riker wants to look inside the house, and Kevin's like, "Why?" Kevin is like you said, he wants them to go away, and Rashawn is like, "Sure," but Kevin's like, "Why do you want to be inside the house? Are you saying that we're kept alive intentionally?" But they don't know, so they really need to find out.
There's got to be a reason, and coincidence is very unlikely. Inside, Rashawn goes off to make tea for everyone, and Worf tells Kevin his using a broke-ass heater on them was an act of unmitigated gall. And Kevin's like, didn't fool you, huh? And Worf grins and says, I admire gall. I love Worf in the one-liners. They just keep coming.
I know, and they're so funny. Data goes wandering off, looking at a shelf, and he sees like a music box with a man and woman dancing, and he picks it up and turns it on. And when he activates this tune, Troy up on the D hears it in her brain.
And brain, what is brain? Yeah, Deanna's like, what the fuck is that sound? It will not leave. Riker and Crusher check in. Nothing unusual with the house or with these people, but better bring them back to the D to be safe. Yeah, fucking right. Like Mr. Get Off My Lawn is about to just up and go to the starship with them. Rashawn is not too happy about this idea either, so Riker gives them his comm badge, which I didn't know you could just reassign that easily.
Well, I don't think you can reassign. It's just they just know it's him. It looks like it's him, I guess.
I don't know. He's like, we'll be in the neighborhood for a few days investigating whatever the fuck happened here, so if you change your mind, tap this little brooch and let us know.
I'll make everyone a nice cup of tea. We have lovely tea here on Rana. It grows wild almost everywhere.
So they're in the observation lounge having a huddle, as they do. And Picard wanting to know are they collaborators? Did they somehow participate in this attack? Did they aid and abet? And Crusher's like, they're like grandma and grandpa. Come on. They wouldn't do that. And while they're sitting there talking, poor Troy is having this massive headache, and she's hearing the sound of the music box again, and the talking fades out, and that's all she can hear.
There is one thing about this scene that I absolutely love, though, and that is how Frakes plays this.
Mm-hmm.
The entire meeting, he is zeroed in on Troy.
As he's talking.
He ain't paying attention to nothing else. He is just watching his boo thing because he can tell. That's Imzadi. He can tell something is not right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't notice, the voices get all muddy, and she doesn't notice Picard calling on her at first.
Right.
But then all she says is, I can't really read them very well, so I can't tell you a whole lot. Then Picard and Riker go back to talking about if and how long these people might be able to live here on their own. And the music box starts up in Troy's head again. And finally, she's just like, I got to go. I'm not feeling great. But this whole time, Riker has been watching her like a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows. He got to know something's up.
Worf and Picard have a brief exchange in the corridor. Worf says that we scanned the system and didn't find any sort of evidence of a hostile force. If it was here, it's no longer here. And then they would just speculate, well, maybe it's the Andorians. No, Worf says that Andorians didn't have to contend with somebody of his thoroughness, so he's going to be sure and run a better scan.
There is a running theme that happens throughout this episode too, and that is Worf's confidence in his abilities.
Yeah.
And how it fails when it fails and how he feels about it.
Mm-hmm. He's very sensitive.
Yeah. He's like, I will search under every fucking rock and I'll put my reputation on this.
Right. And if he says there isn't anything, then there damn well better not be anything out there.
Troy is like having a really bad trip, thrashing around on her bed, trying to get that damn music to stop, but she just can't block it out. And she ends up at the sink about to have a complete breakdown when the doorbell rings. Picard's dropped by to check in on her, and she gives him some bullshit excuses, but he presses, and so she tells him about the music. It seems to have started while the away team was on the surface. She was thinking of Kevin and Rashawn, and then this music. And it's not just an earworm, more like a RFK brainworm. She can hear the music so clearly on repeat in her mind, but she can't explain it or the weird vibes that she's getting from the Uxbridges.
She can't stop it. She doesn't know what song it is and never heard it before.
So Picard's like, well, get some rest. But then a red alert goes off. So Picard heads back to the bridge where all hell has broken loose. There's that massive ship we've heard about on screen heading for the planet. Clearly the same one that attacked before. Apparently it had been hiding behind a moon, and Picard turns to Worf, and Worf's like, no, man, wait. I swear it wasn't there before. He is so embarrassed.
So Riker said it was riding a Lagrange point, and I've heard this Lagrange point in a lot of Star Treks. So I decided to look it up to figure out, to understand what it means. When someone says Lagrange point, I want to know what it means. So it's like a special place in space where the gravity of two large objects, let's say the sun and the Earth, perfectly balance out the centrifugal force on a small object, like a satellite or a telescope. So think of it this way. So if you have the sun and the Earth, and where can you put a spaceship that would effectively stay put relative to the two large objects without needing to use any force to maintain its position? So basically, the forces are acting on the small object are in equilibrium. So the gravity of the sun pulls it one way, and then maybe the gravity of the Earth pulls it the other to keep it basically from flying out of orbit. So with every pair of orbiting bodies, there's 5 potential Lagrange points.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, this is awesome. So I was like, so a Lagrange point is an ideal parking spot to hide, because you don't have to use your engines. The force is going to keep you in one spot. So that's my lesson for today, children.
Allie's science moment. I love it. Data has nothing like this ship in the Encyclopedia Britannica, so they try to blow in a phone call, no answer. Shields up, heat up the weapons, and the ship turns for an attack run, but its weapons fire is weak sauce. Did not even disrupt the shields a bit.
Even though it's 5 times their size, and according to Riker, carrying enough armament to pulverize a planet.
Yeah, so why this weak-ass attack?
Something's up.
Worf fires a warning shot back at them, and they zip away, so the D follows. And as they chase this thing, they are never able to gain on it. It just keeps matching their speed all the way to warp 9, and Picard's like, anybody else think we're being fucked with? Riker doesn't seem to see what Picard sees just yet, but he follows the order to return to Rana 4.
I was concerned. I came to see if I could be of any help.
I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I'm just tired, that's all.
Now, I may not have your gifts at reading emotions, Counselor, but I can tell when someone is in pain and hiding it.
It's so silly. I hear music. In my mind, music that won't stop.
This time, Picard beams down with Worf. And Kevin and Rashawn are outside doing some yard work. And this tool Kevin is using looks a lot like the one they had just a bit ago in that episode where they were testing the water in that aqueduct.
Oh, you mean that like
the little handheld thing with the bar that comes out the bottom?
I didn't pay attention, but
Looked like the same prop to me. And may have been. I don't know. I didn't look that up.
Oh, that would have been a good question.
Right? Anyway, they brought a matter replicator for the Uxbridges, which Kevin, of course, refuses. You know, he's really got this rugged individualism bullshit going on.
That bullshit pride thing. We don't need it. We don't need it.
Rashawn, however, is much more sociable, and she's like, thank you for the replicator, and please come in for some tea. Maybe she'll actually get around to making it this time. Smash cut to Troy's quarters, where she is screaming in pain from the sound of the music box. Crusher and some nurses respond and give her something to try to help her relax, but that doesn't work. And Crusher wants to take her to sickbay, try to put her to sleep and get her some relief, but Troy says the music will just follow her.
Crusher says, I can induce Delta sleep so that it'll lock out your deepest dreams. But Troy's like, this isn't a dream. This is real. Back down to the planet with Rashawn and Kevin, and they're actually having tea this time. And Rashawn is doing the chit chat about how she and Kevin first met. He was on a ship at sea, and he was a starving student, and she was traveling with her parents. And 2 hours after they met, she asked him to marry her. Another comedic moment with Worf. Worf is sucking the tea down, and Rashawn asks him what he thinks, and he just says, "Good tea, nice house."
I love it. Picard asks why you old people would leave the comforts of Earth to come all the way out here, you know, seeing how old you are and all. And Rashawn says they thought it would make them fall in love all over again, and it did. But then Picard turns the conversation back to the attack, and Rashawn starts describing the horrors. And Picard's like, yeah, and yet, here you two are, completely unscathed. Odd, isn't it? And Kevin's like, hey, so when did you guys say you were leaving and getting off my lawn?
Well, then that's when Picard says, well, we don't know. We encountered a ship and were attacked a little while ago. And it could be the people that attacked you. We forced it to leave. We chased them away, but it could return. And Rashawn's like, well, Kevin, you said it had gone. And Kevin's like, don't worry. It didn't hurt us. It won't hurt us.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Picard's like, do you know that for a fact? Like, how are you so sure?
And he just brushes it off like, I don't want to upset my wife. Can't you see she's upset when we talk about this? Still, why were you people spared? Something had to set them apart. Kevin says the one difference he knows of is that he's a pacifist and refused to fight. But there's no way the attacking ship could have known that.
No.
He says he expected to die with everyone else. And again, he asks them to get off his lawn. And then he kind of shuffles out of the room, leaving Rashawn to explain her husband's gentle nature. Picard asks about her feelings, and she says she wanted to fight, but she stayed with her husband instead. Then she, too, thanks them for the replicator and excuses herself to clean up from tea time. So Picard makes one final plea. Come with us to the D, but she refuses.
She says that she can't leave Rana, even if it means her life. Okay, that's a little bit fanatical.
Yeah. Yeah, this made me think of all those people in the Florida Keys windsurfing on flagpoles in the middle of a hurricane after, refusing to follow evacuation orders.
I mean, so we've lived in Florida, and we know.
Yeah.
Like, if someone had truly told me to evacuate, I would leave. But I've been out there where I'm not supposed to before. Yeah. I've gone to the beach when they say no, don't go to the beach. I'm not now granted I'm not surfing, but I have been where I'm not supposed to be just because I'm curious. Have you not? I mean,
So I was only in Florida for one major hurricane, and I couldn't tell you the name of it. I don't remember, but it knocked her. We always lived inland, though. We never lived out on the coast, so everything we got is weakened by the time it gets to us,
Yeah.
So I didn't get any of that, like, that one gif of the dude with the flag standing out in the middle of the storm holding the flagpole. I didn't get that. I didn't get to do that.
We've done stupid shit. I lived there for 25 years. So that's 25 years of nothing but just, are we evacuating? Do we get water? There was a few occasions when we did get sandbags. We always stocked up on water, but I mean, we did stupid shit like it's a hurricane, let's go to the beach. I mean, we did do that a lot. We never like went in the water, but we drove where we weren't supposed to. It's just, I don't know, human nature. We're stupid. We're dumb.
Crusher is having no luck with Troy's music problem, so now she suggests inducing coma to try to shield her from the music. Another red alert, and on the bridge, that bogey is back. Shields up, weapons hot, as Picard and Worf arrive back on the bridge, and Picard seems to have been expecting this very thing. They start to pick up the phone, but the ship attacks, much stronger this time, and takes their shields down in one hit. The next round causes thermal damage to the hull, and Data says that ship is capable of much more powerful strikes. So again, it's still not using its full power on them. And then it positions itself between the D and the planet, so they fire on it, but it seems to do no damage. Some weapons exchange back and forth, and now the D is without shields and weapons, but no damage to the attacking ship, so Picard orders their withdrawal out of range.
As they move out of range, they notice that the ship stopped pursuing them and is just taking up an orbit around Rana as if like to protect it. And just as Picard senses, he's like, we can't help Kevin and Rishon. My guess is that they're not in any real danger. So he knows he's come to some realization nobody else has, and he's not sharing yet.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Worf?
Good tea. Nice house.
Back in Troy's room, Picard checks in with Beverly because he thinks maybe Kevin and Rishon are somehow using this music to block Troy's abilities, stop her from seeing some truth that they're hiding. So he calls up Riker to maintain this course for an hour. They're leaving the planet, and then they're going to turn back around. And this time, nothing will chase us away. And Riker's just like, will someone please tell me what the fuck is going on today? Like, why is Picard hiding all of this from his trusted team?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the television reason, but in universe, he would be in the conference room talking this out with his crew.
Yeah.
He would be telling them, here's what I think. I think this, the Kevin and Rishon are behind all this shit, and I think this and that. But this is all a mystery episode, so we gotta,
and I guess they're doing it for the audience sake, but that is unlike Picard. Picard is like, this is what I think it is.
Yeah.
Normally.
Instead, he's planned a little experiment to test his hypothesis. So when they get back to the planet, sure enough, there's no warship. Picard taps Worf for another beam down, and Riker protests. But Picard says, Bill, I don't think that other ship knows we're even here, and you won't hear anything from it until I beam down there, because whatever this thing is, I think it's protecting Kevin and Rishon.
Yeah. It somehow responds to their whim. But so he's going to put it to the test. So sure enough, they beam down. Kevin and Rishon are dancing in the middle of the floor to the music on the music box. And they surprise him and they're like, what are you doing? Celebrating? And Kevin's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I told you to leave.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, I told you. Why are you interfering?
But Picard refuses to leave, and he lets on that he's starting to put the puzzle together. Kevin was surprised by his arrival, perhaps because he thought the D had left for good.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin just wants everyone to fucking leave and leave him alone. And Picard promises, oh, when I leave this house, I will never set foot in it again. But the D will stay in orbit to protect you from that warship that came back again, by the way. And Rashawn is again emotional about hearing about this ship. And Kevin tries to say that it's a lie, but Picard continues talking about this battle they fought with it. We even have some injured crew from this thing. But wait, there's more. One of my crew is having her mind slowly destroyed by some telepathic manipulation. And I don't know how you read this, but he says that, and then Rashawn says, no, please, no. Did you think that that was about the attackers coming back, or that she knows about the telepathy stuff?
I didn't even pick up on her saying that at all. I just thought she's talking about the ship is back. Yeah. I didn't pick up on the fact that she's saying no, please, no about the telepathy.
I don't know what she was saying it about. It was hard to read.
But then when Kevin says, she says, no, please, no. Then Kevin says, this is a form of intimidation. Maybe I'm thinking they're feeling pressure by Picard. So maybe that's what it meant. I have no idea.
Anyway, Picard offers to take her to safety, but she insists on staying with Kevin, and Kevin is staying. He says, she's safe with me in this house. And that's the second time he said this. What is it about this house or you people that protects you? Picard asks, if Rashawn's life were in danger, would your pacifism break? Would you kill to save her? And Kevin says he would not kill for anyone. He is a conscientious objector.
And so Rashawn says, she tells Picard, stop hurting Kevin. So this line of questioning is somehow hurting him.
Yeah, now she's the one to say, get off my lawn.
Yeah, because, she puts her foot down. Don't hurt Kevin. But Picard says, I've been sworn to protect you, and the Enterprise is going to stay for as long as the two of you are alive. That's a long time.
Uh-huh. Bold _ italic, because...
Yeah, and that's, he lays down the little bait, because as long as you two are alive, the Enterprise will be in orbit. Do what you will with that.
So Picard gets back on the D, and oh, look at that. There's that warship right on schedule. And Riker tells Worf to prepare to fire, but Picard's like, nope, we're not going to do that. Basically, we're going to play chicken, but the warship moves off into a low orbit of the planet and prepares to attack the Uxbridge house. And Picard just tells everybody, hands off your consoles. We're just going to let this play out. And sure enough, the warship fires, the house is obliterated, no survivors. And Picard has Worf blow a torpedo up its ass, and the ship explodes in one easy hit.
Perfect. Everything is wrapped up into a tiny bow. They don't need to be there anymore. They should leave. The Uxbridges are gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So Picard's like, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go into a higher orbit and maintain surveillance of the planet. And he fucks off to the ready room, leaving Riker, Data, and Wes looking at each other like, no, okay, really, what the fuck is going on today?
You got to tell your people, man.
Yep.
Celebrating.
What are you doing here? What do you want?
This is the second time that you have shown surprise at my appearance. The first time was understandable, but now... Unless it is because you never expected to see me again.
So Riker comes into his ready room to speak to him and to see what the heck is going on. They've been watching the planet for 3 hours. Nothing has happened, but Riker feels like he's waiting for something to happen. And Picard says, yes, I am acting on an assumption. And he assumes that there was really only one survivor of the war on Rana 4, that one of them, if he's correct, only one of them survived.
Back out on the bridge, Worf is annoyed about monitoring a dead planet, but suddenly at the next station over, Geordi picks up the reappearance of the Uxbridge house, trees, grass, everything, back as it was. And he calls Picard and Riker back to the bridge. And sure enough, Worf detects 2 life signs in the house. So Picard orders the D lowered in a closer orbit. Get us within transporter range. We're going to beam those people right onto the bridge. And Data's like, ooh, they're not going to like that. But Picard doesn't care. He's ready to pull the rug. And so Kevin and Rashawn beam onto the bridge. And Picard starts expositioning the whole thing to us. This is very Holmesian. I just now realized this feels like a Data Holmes episode of, my dear Watson.
Here is what I've deduced. And
yeah, here's what I've deduced.
And everybody has to listen as he gives us a play-by-play of why the person that's standing there did this. And, you know,
I almost feel like he's clicking his pipe. And at first, I couldn't understand why this house survived the Holocaust when the others hadn't. But, Watson, it turns out it was destroyed. The house we see now, the nice house with the good tea, that's a reproduction. Some kind of holodeck technology, maybe. We don't really know. And Rashawn is like, not hearing this. But Kevin finally is like, you maybe want to listen to him because he's kind of right.
Yeah.
And Picard goes on, you wanted us to leave because you wouldn't be able to easily explain all of this. So instead you created that warship to try to chase us away. And it tried and failed twice. Then I gave you the only condition that would make us leave. And remember, he said, we'll stay in orbit as long as you are alive. So, of course, you had your pretend battleship come and destroy your house, thinking that if we thought you were dead, we'd finally leave.
Kevin finally, you know, kind of sort of starts to fess up, you know, and apologizes about Troy. He's like, he'll help her because he never intended to do any sort of harm to anyone. But he's got to know what they're going to do now that they know the truth. And Picard's going to take him to the nearest starbase and hold him responsible for the attack on the Enterprise and possibly the death of the entire planet. But Rashawn defends him and says, like, no, he never killed anyone. He was telling the truth about how that happened, that there were some people that came and they destroyed the planet. But Picard's like, yeah, but you haven't told us the whole story. You haven't told us about Rashawn. And it's like, does she not know? So she's acting like, what are you talking about? She doesn't know that she, as Picard reveals, isn't real. Picard says, I can touch you, I can hear your voice, I can smell your perfume, and in every respect, you're a real person, but you don't exist. And like but she didn't know that. He knows somehow that she died with everyone else, and that Kevin recreated her. And just as he says that, she vanishes.
And Picard turns back to Kevin saying, you're the only living thing on Rana. And although you look human, you're not. And Kevin disappears too.
He turns into some sort of light.
Yeah.
And then he disappears.
And apparently Geordi's able to track this energy being Kevin into the turbo lift. But Picard's like, oh, everybody chill out. Let's let him know that we're not going to harm him. And of course, Worf is ready to go take him down.
Kill him. He's dangerous.
But Picard points out, like, this being could have just squished us like a bug, and he didn't. So
he did apologize for hurting Troy, and so Picard thinks he's going to go straight to her to help first.
So Crusher comes ripping into Troy's room to find Kevin standing bedside, and he tells Crusher that he removed the music, which he put there because Troy was too close to figuring out the whole secret. Picard arrives not long after and demands to hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help him Q. Kevin is a Dowd, an immortal being of disguises and false surroundings. He's been knocking around this part of the galaxy for a while, and while in human form one time, he fell in love with a human woman. And he hid who he truly was from her the entire time. Which, let's talk about that. You're not even being honest with the love of your life.
Yeah.
So then they came to Florida 4 to retire, but the Husnock, a species of hideous intelligence who knew only aggression and destruction, attacked the colony. He had the power to wipe them from existence with only a mere thought. Very Q-like. But he refused because one truth he has told this episode is that he is a pacifist. So he tried to trick them like he tried to trick the D, but it just pissed him off even more. And then Rashawn went to fight with the colonists and was killed. And on seeing her broken body, Kevin went insane and he destroyed the Husnock in an instant of grief.
He said he didn't want to kill, but in that instant, he was, like you said, with grief. And he not only killed the Husnock that were attacking them, he killed them all. All Husnock everywhere. So with a single thought, they were all gone. And he feels guilty about it, but they killed his wife. And were 11,000 people worth 50 billion? And that's his sin. And that's what he was hiding.
Picard's like, well, Jesus Christ on a cracker. We aren't qualified to judge you. We don't even have a law to fit this crime. Although surely we have some anti-genocide laws in the Federation, and the JAG office at the Starbase is certainly qualified to judge, but what do we know?
There are no witnesses.
Instead, Picard's just like, well, I guess you could just go back to the planet and, make your hologram creations again. And that's it.
Yeah.
This dangerous being that can wipe out an entire species with the thought. And we're just like, you just go on back about your life.
We spent all that time just to uncover the mystery, just to say, okay, go back.
Yeah. Yeah. What are the stakes of this episode? There aren't any.
Yeah.
So Kevin disappears and we leave orbit with a captain's log. Picard says, we leave behind a being of extraordinary power and conscience. I am not certain if he should be praised or condemned, only that he should be left alone. And off we go to the next adventure with a buoy outside the planet that says, get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'll be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
It's definitely about grief and loss, and the fact that, he loved her so much, he could not accept her death, so he made up an image of her so that he didn't have to face it. I was going to say so he could come to terms with her death, but no, he wasn't going to face it. And the fact that he destroyed, like, an entire race of people, the guilt of that, too. So, in a way, he's kind of locked in his own little prison. And Picard basically sent him back to it. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought there was an interesting question here about what it takes to make an otherwise peaceful, anti-war, pacifist kind of person throw those values aside. And Star Trek The Next Generation suggests deep, profound loss and grief.
Yeah.
That loss might push someone to go against those core values.
Yeah. But it was too late. It was too late, though. He wasn't going to go against his core values, even when she went out to fight. It was the fact that once she died,
Yeah.
then he got angry.
One thing we didn't poke with a stick at all is the question of like, okay, so this is an immortal Q-type being. Just how long would Kevin have been content to hide out on their 4-acre lot with his replicated house and replicated tea and replicated wife? Like, wouldn't the trauma and tragedy of what he did eventually catch up with his conscience and drive him mad or something? Like, that would have been an interesting approach too, because surely this shit gets old pretty quickly, right? Like, wake up, drink tea, dance with Rashawn, go back to bed.
Yeah,
Like,
none
what
of
kind
it's
of
real.
life would they have had? Yeah,
None
right.
of it's real. It's all made up, and he knows it. But
Yeah.
like I said, this is his prison, his
Yeah.
his cage, if you will, his punishment, because he does feel guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like hell to me.
Yep. And where does he go from here? He goes back into the prison, the void, to recreate his house and his dead wife and pretend everything is fine again?
Forever? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, he's been alive for thousands of years. How much longer is he going to be alive? And I don't know, it's a terrible existence in my opinion.
Yeah. And poor fucking Deanna. You know, sometimes we just leave her out of episodes entirely when there's a worry that she might be able to use her magic powers to solve the episode before it ever starts.
Exactly. There's got to be a way to stop her. So let's do something to her
Let's torture her instead.
Yeah, poor thing.
I don't know what's worse. Oh, Deanna's not here this week. She's off visiting her mom. Or we're going to terrorize her with terrible music box music banging about in her head. I mean, I guess she gets paid this way.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money?
The money he stole!
You stole his money?
Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
As always, we want to thank everyone who supports the show at patreon.com/humanisttrek, and a special thank you to our founding admirals. A special thanks to Allie, Peter, Sarah D, Bruce, the Bear, and Cured podcast, and some call him Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the Academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
Becca's back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge question for the survivors. Remind us again the question.
The Uxbridge household is a real home in Malibu. It was designed by California architect Ellis Gelman. What year was it built, and what is its current market value?
Now, watching this episode, the house did not look like what I thought in my head it looked like when you asked us this question. It looked very different from what I had pictured. I don't know that we don't remember what we said. What did we say?
Sarah said 1968 and current value $13 million. And Allie said 1962 with current value at $10 million. I will tell you, you both overshot the value by like way too much.
Oh, wow.
Current value is $6,969,000.
Oh, well, just a few. What's a few million among friends?
A few millions.
Yeah. did I say 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But then when was it built?
It was built in 1981.
Oh, shit.
And Ellis Gelman built this for his own use. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home on 2 acres of land.
Is this some guy we should know?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's no way we were going to get that.
No, absolutely not.
Well, you went over on the value, but you were both way under on the year. I mean, if we did Price is Right rules, Sarah would have gotten a point because she was closer to 81 without going over.
Affirmative.
But nobody would have gotten it for the money.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Was it 2 points or 1? Because I feel like it should be two points.
It would have been 2 points, yeah. So
I feel like she should get a 1 point at least.
Next time on Humanist Trek, we'll review Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 4, Who Watches the Watchers? Mistakenly believing Captain Picard to be a god, the members of a primitive culture seize Troy and prepare to sacrifice her to him. I do remember quite a bit about this episode. You?
I remember the name of the episode, and if I see the episode, I'll remember. But nothing comes to mind.
This is one that friend of the show, Susan Sackett, executive producer Gene Roddenberry's assistant, included in her talks about the humanism in Star Trek a lot because it talks about God beliefs and, you know, what happens if a primitive culture comes in contact with something more advanced and how that can, you know, how that can seem like a god or a powerful whatever. And I also remember that the aliens were kind of proto-Vulcan looking. They were very Vulcan-like in their appearance. And they used like spears and bows and arrows and shit.
Primitive Vulcans.
None of that will have anything to do with this. Becca, what's the question for Who Watches the Watchers?
The Enterprise visits the planet Mintaka 3 in this episode. What real-world star was the name Mintaka likely taken from?
What?
Mintaka? Wait, what?
Mintaka.
A-K.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing in my head too.
Go backwards. How do you spell that? A-K-A-T. A cat.
A catman? No, that's nothing.
A catman. What real world star? What was the question?
Was the name Mintaka likely taken from? I'll give you a hint. It's not backwards. It's Mintaka in real life.
I have no idea.
You don't know your constellations.
The Big Dipper. I have no idea. Big Dipper.
Is it? Are we trying to get the name of the star or the name of the constellation that it's in?
Mintaka is the name of the star, so you'd need the
constellation.
The constellation.
Ursa, whatever. Is Ursa major and minor? Are they stars or are they constellations?
That's the constellations. The Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, yeah.
Oh, okay. Ursa major is I'll say Ursa major. I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay, I'm going to go with Orion. I got nothing. And if you want to shoot for the stars, you know how to do that. Head out to your social media, share this episode with hashtag Starfleet Challenge and your answer. We'll pick out a winner. And next time, we'll review Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 4, Who Watches the Watchers?
It's a good day to die.
Beverly!
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcasts. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com and visit our website, humanisttrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.